Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Soul Talk. And this is my favourite series of Meet the Author with my gorgeous and beautiful co hosts from the book Voice of Hope, which has been launched on the 23rd of November at De Vere Beaumont Hotel in Windsor, a right royal occasion. So, my name is Brenda Dempsey, and I'm the creator of Voices of Courage and soon to be published Voices of Hope. And today we've got an amazing, beautiful soul with us whose story is incredible, so you'll need to buy the book. Jaswinder Challi. Hi, Jaswinder.
Hello there, Brenda.
Thank you very much for giving us your time and coming today to talk about you as a co-author, you as a woman in business, and a wee bit about what you're looking forward to in the future. So, Jaswinder, you've found the courage to step up, listen in, and hear your voice. And that takes a lot of courage to do that. And it takes even more courage to voice that story and what's going on inside us to the world. So, and I thank you for that. So tell us, what was that little spark that you said it's time to share, to voice my story and share it? What was that about? Tell us how that's all come around for you.
Okay, well, it's been quite a journey, and I've been doing everything and, sort of like towards my healing from what I wrote about. And I've done everything except voice it. And yes, I have had some counselling where I've talked about some of the things, but writing the story I found was phenomenal, because when I wrote it, I then read it out to a group of women locally here. And as I was reading it, I was in floods of tears. When I read that story, I realized how much I really need to speak out, how much more I need to speak out. And this was just the start of it. And I really need to, so the book is going to, when people see my story in the book, then that is going to enable me to talk more about my story and share it. I might get called for interviews or women's groups, I don't know, but I'm hoping that I get called to places where people ask me about my story, and then I can verbalize it more, which is really what I needed at this point in my life.
I mean, it's beautiful, and it's so liberating when a woman voices her truth, and it really sets my soul on fire. And it's part of what I do, is to give women that confidence and that conviction, and help them find their own courage to do that. It's so important, because we learn so much about stories, so why did you say yes to being part of Voices of Hope?
Well, first of all, I liked the title very much, Voices of Hope, and I thought that's exactly what my story was all about, that word hope. So everything for me fitted really nicely, and not to forget that you were very encouraging and very friendly, and that helped me immensely. So I'd really like to say thank you at the same time, Brenda. But yeah, it was just like, the book was very eye-catching as well, in terms of it, like it was calling me. It was meant to be, and the title, as I said, and then when you supported me in terms of asking me the questions. It felt like it was all meant to be. This was the right time, the right place, and it was meant to happen.
I mean, I definitely believe in serendipity. And just to speak a wee bit about how you came about to be in the book, it was towards the end of me coming to the end of putting the book together. And it just happened like that, didn't it? So this is how
it did. Just overnight.
It was overnight. So it's serendipity because just for the sake of people watching, Jaswinder just messaged me out of the blue. I hadn't a clue who Jaswinder was, didn't know her, and she messaged me about the book, and I says, "Well, let's just jump on a call," because that's who I am. Because I'm a bit of a dinosaur in as much as I love people and I love to make real connections, and that's what I help women do. You know, make real connections that matter. And we jumped on a call, and it was like soul sisters, wasn't it? It was like we'd known each other all our life. Yeah. Oh no! Actually, Jaswinder, did I not meet you? Oh, no. Anyway,
no. What happened, Brenda? To go even a little bit before that.
Yes.
I was getting because I'm quite in tune with my guidance and spirit, and so I was hearing spirit saying to me the word voices. It kept coming for about 2 weeks. I kept hearing this word voices, and and I was being guided like speak, voices, speak. And then I saw a message from you saying you really needed somebody to fill in. Somebody had pulled out or something, I can't remember, but you needed to fill in, you were looking for somebody to fill in this. And then I thought, oh my God, that's what those messages were about. Those voices and hope and speaking out. So I sent you a message, and you know what, to be quite honest, once I'd sent you the message, I had completely forgot. And then when I received your phone call and you started to ask me questions and take it all down, I was kind of quite shocked afterwards, because I thought when you said I'll give you a call, it was just a general chat. But it happened so quickly, everything. It just all happened overnight. And I'm glad it did, because, I could have, the story that I've written, I could have kind of stepped back if I'd had too much time to think about it. And in fact, once I'd given it over to you, I did sort of think, have I done the right thing? But then I realized that I have, because when people read it, it will help them. People that need to read that, it will help them. Yeah, I'm hoping it will help them.
Well, there we go. We keep using that word, don't we? Hope comes up all the time. And you know what, Jaswinder, you know what I think about your story? It is like phenomenal, the strength, and we obviously don't want to give too much away, but the endurance and everything of you and what you did to turn your life around is absolutely totally inspiring so much. And I'm so glad you said yes. And I don't know, I just seem to know the right things. The universe just gives me the right people to help, to support, to guide. And they're ready for my light. They're ready to hear. They're ready to be encouraged, and they receive. And you know what? The thing is, once your story's out there, it's out there. There's lots of stories, but every story is unique, because what you do with the story, and that's what's important. I've got a wee question for you. Hold on, no. Let me ask you, do you like jasmine or lavender?
I like both.
But if you had to pick one, Jaswinder, what would you pick?
What a hard choice. Asking a Libran who's always indecisive to choose. That's the worst thing you can do to a Libra, to ask them to make a choice, because
I told you, I'm always pushing you outside that comfort zone.
think it might have to be lavender,
Mm,
because I use lavender so much. I
yeah,
grow lavender in my garden, and I use it for so many different things, including my
wonderful.
fire ceremonies.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Ooh, that's great. Okay, so you know, um, although we're authors and I'm an anthologist and I love story and I love bringing people together through story and through voice, the most powerful thing is learning how to use aspects of your story, which I call the golden thread, to help you create and shape a business. So there's no point in having all that endurance, overcome it, created something amazing, and then not share it with the world. So what I would like you to tell us a little bit about now is a bit about your business.
Okay, yeah, that's good, Brenda. Right, my business is, I started out on my healing journey of counselling and psychotherapy, and then I carried on doing those kind of courses in terms of, like, I did a life coaching, clinical hypnosis, Reiki. I've done a colour healing practitioner course. So really, if you were to put everything in a nutshell, I'm kind of like a coach come psychotherapist, if you see what I mean, because I bring all these skills together and utilize in terms of doing soul healing. I look at what this, the people that come to me, the clients, it's what they're, what they've come to me for, their issue, and out of all my skills in my toolbox, what is it I'm going to use with them?
Yeah,
So that is my business. I also do yoga because I realized that, it wasn't just about the talking. The physical body needed some kind of a movement to shift things as well. So I did yoga, and I use that as well. And I've started to incorporate a lot of Qigong into my yoga as well.
you're such a talented lady. And I think out of that, you're right, you've got this magnificent toolkit that you, depending on who your client is, who you're working with, you can decide which toolkit you will use. But you did touch on the actual crux of it, and actually you are such an intuitive and gifted healer, and that's what you're doing. You're looking at the whole person from the inside out, and
Yeah,
you can
absolutely.
and that is important. So for me, anything that's holistic is, that gets me sitting up and gets me all tingling and excited, because I'm a holistic person myself, because of my teaching for 25 years, and it's so important. And I love that you've got so many qualifications, and that's part of your story, which we're not going to say too much about, but it's just fantastic. And with your story, how is that shaping your business?
Um, it's kind of very motivational for people because, as you said, we don't want to go into the story here, but, you know, the title, I suppose we can sort of share the title, which is
Yeah,
Turning Point.
yeah, I think we
So
could.
many people come to those crossroads. I think everybody in life, that they have a time in their life when there is a crossroads. The only difference is some people's is easier and some people's is very hard.
Yeah,
And there is a bit of difference, but it also depends on the individual's coping mechanism.
yeah, there's a
And
lot.
so,
There is a
yeah,
lot, isn't there? Because it's, where is a person, what resources do they have, what their characteristics,
yeah,
so two people enduring the same thing. Um, so let's say two people being made redundant for the sake of a topic. How each person deals with redundancy. One can fall apart, and another can just go, right, what's next. So there's so many different things.
yes, it all depends on also, the person's history and background
Yeah,
into how their personality has been shaped into that strength and resilience. But
yeah,
sometimes you know, we come to a point of, yeah, like, you know, like, for example, the redundancy, where, and I've had clients who've been actually in that situation where they've been in a job long term and then suddenly they've been faced with redundancy. And, you know, it hasn't been easy for them when you're worried about maintaining a family and, you know, you've been the main sort of breadwinner in the family as well, then life can feel like it's going to fall apart, you know? And
I
where
know.
do you go to from there? So I've actually had clients in that particular situation.
Yeah. So tell me, what do you hope being a published author, what will it mean for you?
Right. Well, with being a published author, I am hoping that I can reach out to a wider audience, a lot more people than I am currently in a one-to-one or in small groups. Okay, I am a you know, tutor as well. I train courses in counselling and hypnotherapy, and previously I've done psychotherapy courses. But again, that's only a set number of people in a group. With my books, I'm hoping to reach people worldwide with my messages, and you know, because this is you know, I'm hoping to write more books now that I'm sort of like on that ladder, so to speak. um, you know, I want to carry on and write so many different books, and with a view to helping people around the world,
Oh,
like,
yes.
you know, so that my light can be spread to other people around the world.
And that's just so wonderful, you know. And we've got 6 continents in Voices of Hope, so we definitely are a worldwide book.
Oh,
So,
that's brilliant.
it's
Yeah.
just, it's phenomenal, phenomenal. And this is when you set good intention, what the universe brings you. It's just incredible. Do you know what I mean? Oh, it's time for another wee question. Let me see. Let me what's your favorite song?
Wow. uh, uh, Again, it's so difficult. So difficult. Oh my God. That is so hard. I don't know. I've got quite a few different songs. And the thing is with me,
So
Brenda,
we didn't say that you're from Punjab, did we, at the start? So is there an
no,
anything Indian so it could help us maybe listen into something more multicultural? Let's get a bit of diversity in that going on here.
yeah, there's loads of Punjabi songs, but the thing is, like, you know, it's only going to the Punjabi songs, people who can understand Punjabi, you know,
How about the
for
music? Does it not get you kind of going?
yeah, Bhangra music, Punjab Bhangra music.
There
Anybody
you
can
go.
dance. Everybody can dance to the Bhangra music. That
There
is
you go.
worldwide. Nearly every country knows Bhangra music.
Well, there you go.
Um,
That's good enough for us. I'll be looking up Angram music when we get off here. So what would you say to someone else who's thinking of sharing their story but they've not maybe found the courage yet, and maybe being part of a journey that's an anthology?
well, I would sort of like tell the person that it is an extremely cathartic experience, extremely cathartic, and that it can only help them move forward and
Absolutely.
not backwards and not be stuck. So
And,
it's like a progression.
yeah.
So the person can only move forwards, and the door can open up into so many opportunities and possibilities.
Yeah, and also with us, we have a private group, so it's getting to know the other ladies and things as well. So it's
Yeah.
it's that connection which is extremely important. It's one of the values of the book. Connection is, as I say, one of those values. So I talk about stories being a hit, which means stories heal, they inspire, and they transform not only your own life, and you've already alluded to that throughout this conversation, but they're also doing the same for the reader, you know, because when a woman shares her story, she's given other women permission to do the same. So that's why it's so inspiring, and it transforms them, because they then realize that they too need to take action. So tell us how your transformation is helping you with the vision for your business.
Sorry, my transformation, did you say?
How is your sorry, can't get that word out. How's your transformation helping you create the vision for your business?
Right. Okay. Well, yeah, the vision is to kind of like, as I said, to share my light of what I've been through, and the transformation I've been through. It is, like, uh, it is like, again, opening the door for women, and in some cases, even men, to be quite honest, and say that, it is possible. You don't have to stay in a stuck, limited situation. The possibilities are endless. If only we can find the courage, find the strength, lift that veil that's like, hiding our true potential. And then, the universe is infinite. The universe is infinite. The possibilities are, amazing. I mean, I remember actually, Brenda, as a teenager, I wanted to do writing, and it's been coming back to me recently. And I actually started an online course, and I only did it for a few months because I'm not going to go into it because part of it is about the story. Events took over my life,
Yeah,
and I could not complete that course.
yeah.
It's so strange that everything's come around full circle. And here I am again. Writing has come back into my life,
And now
and
you
with a
can,
book.
because you're free. You're free
Yeah,
to make choices for you.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Oh, freedom, freedom. One of my life values is freedom, you know. So yeah, absolutely. So tell me, what are you looking forward to about the book launch November the 23rd?
Oh God, I'm so excited to meet the other co-authors. I'm so excited to be part of this celebration because, it's not every day we get to have a celebration like this. And, I have been working for my current organization where I teach for over 13 years. And I have never, ever changed a date for anything. And usually, it is really hard and tough to be able to change a date. And I was going to be teaching that day, but when I told them it's a book launch, they supported me and helped me and changed the date for me because they could hear that it was coming from my heart, that this is a very special day. It's a celebration. It's an opportunity that we don't get, like, every day. It's
No, and
maybe just a once in a lifetime opportunity.
yeah, and the thing is, it's life changing. It's life
Absolutely.
changing, you know.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
my publisher on the book, what way, gosh, yeah. My publisher called me the life changer because of the stories and everything else. And they put the life changer on there, even without asking me. So, okay, if I call you a life changer, I've just called you the
yeah.
life changer. So it's kind of stuck, you know. And I suppose I do change lives, and You know, as a teacher over 25 years, I changed many people's lives, many children's lives, many parents' lives, many teachers' lives, many of my staff's life. And, you know, but it's quite hard when people put things, oh, I can never remember what we were doing, when people see you in a certain light. You know, we're not very good sometimes as women to step into our power. So how do you feel about now, as an author, as a woman in business, stepping into your power? Could you say a little bit about that?
Yeah. Well, stepping into my power, it is so empowering, so liberating, a real sense of freedom. And you know what? The more I've been feeling it, Brenda, the more it has been like a coming home to myself. I've had tears because of this coming home to myself, into my power, into my authenticity. You know, I've had tears of joy. It's like, you know, I've come back to myself. I've come home to myself. It's like going on this journey and I've come back, stepping into my who I really am, who I was really meant to be, you know, my true self, my authentic self. It is just so liberating, so empowering, and that in itself is a celebration of life. It really is.
Now, listen, don't tell anybody, but you've just mentioned your first book.
Did I?
Coming Home to Myself.
Oh. You know what? That is so interesting.
Do you know what? Do you know what, kiddo? You need to stick with me.
You know, I've been thinking, what am I going to call my book? And I've thought of names like Return to Your Real Self. Every time I Google names I've been thinking about, they've been taken already. People have already written the books. And so I've been thinking, what? Coming home to myself. Yes, maybe
Well,
that.
I did tell you that once you've met me, that's it. It's a lifelong connection. Do you know what I mean?
Brenda,
And
you're brilliant.
you go around
You're
book,
brilliant.
you know, so we are definitely on a great journey together, that's for sure. Well, I've got some more questions and then you can have the last word. So let me see. Do you prefer summer or winter?
Ha ha ha. Neither, because I prefer spring and autumn.
Oh, wait a minute. You've got to play the game by my rules because it's my game. So I didn't choose spring or autumn for a reason. So
but
summer or winter?
summer or winter. Okay. I'm going to go with winter at the moment.
Good. Do you want to say why at all?
Yes, because I really, you know, the time that we're kind of in and moving into, I love this period because it's right up until Christmas and New Year. It is a celebration of the light.
Yes, it is.
We
We're
go
going to
into,
Bali and everything. Yes.
yeah, we go into this dark nights, but it's all about light. You've got Diwali, you've got Hanukkah, you've got Christmas, and I'm sure there's so many other celebrations of light. And you know, it is an awesome time period, you know, where we are just celebrating light one after the other.
And if you look at the cover of Voices of Hope, it's all about that candle. That's a universal symbol because I knew this book was going to be worldwide. So the other picture that I had would not be suitable in certain countries. So the candle and the hands, you cannot get any more universal than that. Okay, mountains or sea?
Sorry?
Mountains or the sea? Do you prefer the mountains or the sea?
Okay, the sea.
The sea, okay.
Yeah.
And what's your favourite car?
Oh God. There's so many cars out there, but I think at the moment I'm going to go. I did have a different car that I liked a little while back, but at the moment I think I'm going to just go for a Mercedes.
Yes, I'm a Mercedes girl too. Now, the last word, Jaswinder, to you. Such a beautiful soul. I'm so blessed that you've come into my life. And the last question is this: what book would you recommend to someone?
Which book?
Yeah.
But wouldn't that depend on? I think at the moment, then, if it was generic to anybody, because like sometimes there's specific books for different people. But if it was generic, and I was going to recommend a book to somebody.
So a book that's made an impact on you as well,
Yeah, I think it would be Eckhart Tolle's The New Earth, because that is relevant to everybody on the earth. Everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Me personally, I would recommend Voices of Hope.
Well, that as well, obviously.
I'm just joking, because I think I've asked most people that I've been having these soul talks with what book they would recommend, and it was just as I was sitting asking you and listening to you, I thought, hey, what about our own book?
Well, that goes without saying, obviously.
Of course.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jaswinder, thank you for your time today. Thank you for saying yes and being part of this journey with me and the other women. And I can't wait for us to celebrate, get our glad rags on, and just have a ball. And it's more than a book launch, because we've got the power of women ready to rise and roar, because it's about our voice. It's standing up, speaking out, and speaking our truth. And this is an event that's an open event. So if you want to find out what goes on at a book launch, and maybe you're a writer and you want to know what you can do to further your book, and maybe you're in business, you want to learn how you can speak on stage, we've got an amazing lineup of talented, highly recommended TEDx talkers, the lot, coming to inspire us. You are going to be inspiring the audience too on that day, and we are just going to leave that day absolutely buzzing, fully inspired and ready for action. So, Jaswinder, thank you very much. Namaste.
Thank you, Brenda. Thank you so much for your time and your efforts, and really encouraging me on this journey. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Much love.